The word skunk is dated from the 1630s, adapted from a southern New England Algonquian language, probably Abenaki Segonku, from Proto-Algonquian asterisk zeker, qua, from meant to urinate plus asteriska, kw fox, 3 skunk has historic use as an insult, attested from 1841, 4. In 1634, a skunk was described in the Jesuit Relations. The other is a low animal, about the size of a little dog or cat. I mention it here not on account of its excellence, but to make of it a symbol of sin. I have seen 3 or 4 of them. It has black fur, quite beautiful and shining, and has upon its back 2 perfectly white stripes, which join near the neck and tail, making an oval that adds greatly to their grace. The tail is bushy and well furnished with hair, like the tail of a fox. It carries it curled back like that of a squirrel. It is more white than black, and at the first glance, you would say, especially when it walks, that it ought to be called Jupiter's little dog. But it is so stinking and casts so foul an odor that it is unworthy of being called the dog of Pluto. No sewer ever smelled so bad. I would not have believed it if I had not smelled it myself. Your heart almost fails you when you approach the animal. 2 have been killed in our court, and several days afterward there was such a dreadful odor throughout our house that we could not endure it. I believe the sin smelled by St. Catherine de Sienne must have had the same vile odor. 5a. In southern United States dialect, the term polecat is sometimes used as a colloquial nickname for a skunk. 7. Even though polecats are only distantly related to skunks. As a verb, skunk is used to describe the act of overwhelmingly defeating an opponent in a game or competition. Description: skunk species vary in size from about 15.6 to 37 and 40 to 94 centimeters long, and in weight from about 1.1 pounds 0.50 kilograms spotted skunks to 18 pounds 8.2 kilograms hog-nosed skunks. They have moderately elongated bodies with relatively short, well-muscled legs and long front claws for digging. They have 5 toes on each foot. Back left foot of an albino skunk. Although the most common fur color is black and white, some skunks are brown or gray and a few are cream-colored. All skunks are striped even from birth. They may have a single thick stripe across the back and tail, 2 thinner stripes, or a series of white spots and broken stripes in the case of the spotted skunk. Behavior: a skunk in Ontario, Canada. Skunks are crepuscular and solitary animals when not breeding, though in the colder parts of their range, they may gather in communal dens for warmth. During the day they shelter in burrows, which they can dig with their powerful front claws. For most of the year, the normal home range for skunks is 0.5 to 2 miles 1 to 3 kilometers in diameter, with males expanding during breeding season to travel for to 5 miles 6 to 8 kilometers per night. 8. Skunks are not true hibernators in the winter, but do den up for extended periods of time. However, they remain generally inactive and feed rarely, going through a dormant stage. 9. Over winter, multiple females, as many as 12, huddle together. Males often den alone. Often, the same winter den is repeatedly used. Although they have excellent senses of smell and hearing, they have poor vision, being unable to see objects more than about 3 meters 10 feet away, making them vulnerable to death by road traffic. They are short-lived. Their lifespan in the wild can reach 7 years, with an average of 6 years, 10-11. In captivity, they may live for up to 10 years, 10-11. Reproduction: female skunk with young skunk foraging in a backyard. Skunks mate in early spring and are polygynous, that is, successful males are uninhibited from mating with additional females. Before giving birth, usually in May, the female excavates a den to house her litter of 4 to 7 kids. Skunks are placental, with a gestation period of about 66 days, 12. When born, skunk kids are blind and deaf, but already covered by a soft layer of fur. About 3 weeks after birth, they first open their eyes. The kids are weaned about 2 months after birth. They generally stay with their mother until they are ready to mate, roughly at 1 year of age. The mother is protective of her kids, spraying at any sign of danger. The male plays no part in raising the young, 13. Diet. Skunks are omnivorous, eating both plant and animal material and changing their diets as the seasons change. They eat insects, larvae, earthworms, grubs, rodents, lizards, salamanders, frogs, snakes, birds. They also commonly eat berries, roots, leaves, grasses, fungi, and nuts. In settled areas, skunks also seek garbage left by humans. Less often, skunks may be found acting as scavengers, eating bird and rodent carcasses left by cats or other animals. Pet owners, particularly those of cats, may experience a skunk finding its way into a garage or basement where pet food is kept. Skunks commonly dig holes in lawns in search of grubs and worms. Skunks use their long claws to break apart rotting logs to find insects that live within them. They also use those claws to help dig for insects, which leaves behind pits, which are easy signs of foraging. The claws also help with pinning down live and active prey. 14. Skunks are one of the primary predators of the honeybee, relying on their thick fur to protect them from stings. The skunk scratches at the front of the beehive and eats the guard bees that come out to investigate. 15 mother skunks are known to teach this behavior to their young. Spray. Striped skunk Mephitis in a defensive posture with erect and puffed tail, indicating its readiness to spray. They are similar to, though much more developed than, the glands found in species of the family Mustelidae. These glands produce the skunk spray, which is a mixture of sulfur-containing chemicals such as thiols traditionally called mercaptans, which have an offensive odor. The thiols also make their spray highly flammable. 16-17. A skunk spray is powerful enough to ward off bears and other potential attackers. 18 muscles located next to the scent glands allow them to spray with a high degree of accuracy, as far as 3 meters 10 feet. 19. The spray can also cause irritation and even temporary blindness, and is sufficiently powerful to be detected by a human nose up to 5.6 kilometers 3.5 miles downwind. 20. Their chemical defense is effective, as illustrated by this extract from Charles Darwin's 1839 book The Voyage of the Beagle. We saw also a couple of zorillos, or Skunksodious animals, which are far from uncommon. In general appearance, the zorillo resembles a polecat, but it is rather larger and much thicker in proportion. Conscious of its power, it roams by day about the open plain and fears neither dog nor man. If a dog is urged to the attack, its courage is instantly checked by a few drops of the fetid oil, which brings on violent sickness and running at the nose. Whatever is once polluted by it is forever useless. Odzara says the smell can be perceived at a league distance. More than once, when entering the harbor of Montevideo, the wind being offshore, we have perceived the odor on board the Beagle. Certain it is that every animal most willingly makes room for the zorillo. 21. Skunks carry just enough for 5 or 6 successive sprays, about 15 cc, and require up to 10 days to produce another supply. 22. Their bold black and white coloration makes their appearance memorable. It is to a skunk's advantage to warn possible predators off without expending scent, black and white aposematic warning coloration aside. Threatened skunks will go through an elaborate routine of hisses, foot stamping, and tail hydimatic or threat postures before resorting to spraying. Skunks usually do not spray other skunks, except among males in the mating season. If they fight over dense space in autumn, they do so with teeth and claws. 23. Most predators of the Americas, such as wolves, foxes, and badgers, seldom attack skunks, presumably out of fear of being sprayed. The exceptions are reckless predators, whose attacks fail once they are sprayed, dogs, and the great horned owl, 20 for which is the skunk's only regular predator. 25. In one case, the remains of 57 striped skunks were found in a single great horned owl nest. 26. Mitigation. Skunks are common in suburban areas, and domestic dogs are often sprayed by skunks. There are many misconceptions about the removal of skunk odor, including the pervasive idea that tomato juice will neutralize the odor. These household remedies are ineffective and only appear to work due to olfactory fatigue. 27. In 1993, 28 The American chemist Paul Kriebaum has developed a formula that chemically neutralizes skunk spray by changing the odor-causing thiols into odorless acids. 29, which is endorsed by the Humane Society of the United States for spray dogs. 30, it involves hydrogen peroxide, baking soda, and liquid dish soap. Skunk spray is composed mainly of 3 low molecular weight thiol compounds, E2-butene-1-thiol, 3-methyl-1-butanethiol, and 2-guanolin-methane, as well as acetate thioesters of these, 3130 to 3330 for 3536. These compounds are detectable by the human nose at concentrations of only 11.3 parts per billion, 3738. Relations with humans, bites. It is rare for a healthy skunk to bite a human, though a tame skunk whose scent glands have been removed, usually on behalf of those who will keep it as a pet, may defend itself by biting. There are, however, few recorded incidents of skunks biting humans. Skunk bites in humans can result in infection with the rabies virus. The Centers for Disease Control (CDC) recorded 1,494 cases of rabies in skunks in the United States for the year 2006, about 21.5% of reported cases in all species. 3940 skunks, in fact, are less prominent than raccoons as vectors of rabies. However, this varies regionally in the United States, with raccoons dominating along the Atlantic coast and the eastern Gulf of Mexico, while skunks instead predominate throughout the Midwest, including the western Gulf. As pets, a tame striped skunk, Mephitis, the striped skunk, is the most social skunk and the one most commonly kept as a pet. In the U.S., skunks can legally be kept as pets in 17 states, 41 when a skunk is kept as a pet. Its scent glands are often surgically removed, 41. A pet albino skunk on a walk. In the UK, skunks can be kept as pets, 42, but the Animal Welfare Act 2006 made it illegal to remove their scent glands, 43. Skunks are mammals in the family Mephitidae. Of skunk vary in appearance from black and white to brown, cream, or ginger-colored, but all have warning coloration. While related to polecats and other members of the weasel family, skunks have as their closest relatives the Old World stink badgers, 1.